Welcome to ComSpark. Today we are in Dayton, Ohio. My name is Todd Stoehr. I am your executive host committee for ComSpark, and I will be your guest host today. Today we are here with John Rike with Montgomery County. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Todd.
John, I want to talk to you a little bit about cloud strategy for the county. We're seeing a lot of leadership in the community talking about, cloud security. Curious what Montgomery County's cloud strategy is.
Yeah, to your point, Todd, I think cloud is one of those revolutionary technologies that you simply can't get away from. At the Montgomery County Board of County Commissioners, we're always looking at ways in which we can improve our efficiency, our productivity, and ultimately the citizen experience, because that's really the most important component of what we do. And in that light, the cloud, presents such a tremendous opportunity for us as an organization to fundamentally change what we do. Our strategy in that regard is a bit more organic than deliberate. I think for us, as we continue to replace legacy systems, and you're talking about the applications, the hardware, all of those pieces of equipment that can traditionally be migrated to the cloud, it's presented, like I said, a tremendous opportunity. But I think for us, it has to be one that's done very thoughtfully. The cloud, while it does provide a lot of advantages, there are also things that need to be properly vetted. And so for us, it's a bit more organic than deliberate, but I do believe that in trying to stay in line with the wishes of the commissioners to ultimately drive the highest values of experience for our citizens, the cloud has to be a piece of that strategy.
So when you talk about being deliberate and bringing value, I got to believe security's into that play, right?
Absolutely. And that's one of the biggest concerns with a cloud migration strategy is, are you equipped both from a skills perspective, but a holistic understanding by which to move those technologies forward? One of the things that we've encountered as we've begun to migrate some of our systems to the cloud is more of that shared responsibility model. We're fundamentally prepared and used to an environment with security where we manage the entire stack. With the cloud strategy, it's more of it's a shared responsibility. And so we have to understand, not only through the provider or the vendor, but what's in the contract, who owns the data. What are the potential switching costs to go from one provider to another? And so, security for us is a big concern, and I think it hits on a variety of levels in terms of the skill sets and the expertise that's needed. But traditionally for us, security is an utmost concern because we're dealing with sensitive data that sometimes has tremendous impact on our community. And so we have to be very thoughtful. But I think in a large sense, through those shared responsibility models, through properly understanding the contracts, and getting really good at the enforcement piece, we're able to take some of the natural concerns that would be associated with cloud technologies and mitigate most of those.
Very interesting and very thought out. Thank you for sharing. Transition a little bit with another buzzword, right? Digital transformation. Do you see anything in the next 3 or 5 years that the county's doing around digital transformation?
Absolutely. Right now, I think most of our digital transformation initiatives are around the touch points and the processes that really are customer facing. And so, what we're finding is that this is getting our foot in the door, so to speak, in terms of the comprehensive strategy around digital transformation. But what I can tell you is, without any uncertainty, over the next 5 to 10 years, the county will go through one of the greatest digital transformations that we're going to see in the history of this organization. And a couple of examples of where we started to see that come to fruition, in two separate areas, quite literally. In our environmental services area, we have now taken a lot of the work that used to be paper-based, for the folks that are out in the field technicians, checking water meters, doing work of that nature. They used to have clipboards and paper. Now they're equipped with iPads. And so, not only the efficiency that's related or associated with their work, but the accuracy of the information that they're entering is much better. Because they're doing it real time. They don't have to come back to the office and remember what had happened or read their handwriting or their shorthand to bring that back into our systems. And so, that is one area where, we've seen a great deal of transformation in terms of how we do our work and the ways in which we grab data and bring it back into our core systems. Another area that I think for us right now is very critical, and it has been somewhat high profile, is work that we're doing with our Animal Resource Center. And so about 6 months ago, we engaged with their new director on a program or a pilot project to put mobile technology into the hands of the field animal control officers. And so this allows them again to take better records, to ensure the data is getting filtered back into our system so that we can have higher levels of reporting and decision making. And so those are just two small examples, but I do feel as we continue to move forward, we're going to step beyond the process automation and the digitization of processes and really start to fundamentally change our business models.
So you talked something very interesting there about the data. You're ingesting data from a digital transformation perspective. So how does Internet of Things or machine learning play into that?
Absolutely. I think for us, when you run a wastewater utility or you have a piece of your organization that has so many digital touch points like in environmental services, the Internet of Things has to be part of our DNA. And so what we're trying to figure out right now is not only where do we see those opportunities to engage in some of the IoT devices, but then how do we employ other technologies like edge computing, machine learning, artificial intelligence to then parse, cleanse, and present the data in a way that's valuable. Because what we simply don't want is to put more mechanisms out there that continue to collect data that we can't utilize or exploit to our advantage to make great decisions. And so for us, I think right now, part of this is getting the pieces in place by which to start collecting the data, but the other part has to be creating this common platform by which we can bring a lot of these seemingly agnostic devices together and then start to move this forward in terms of a way that provides greater insights.
So as you look at the next 3 to 5 years, or even expand maybe 5 to 10 years, from a leadership perspective, what challenges do you see on the horizon?
Yeah, in IT, there's challenges that are seen and unforeseen. And I'll start with some of the ones that are pretty obvious. For us, security will always be a top concern. When we're trying to do as best we can and be good stewards of taxpayer dollars, we have to have security as one of our top, if not the top priorities within IT. Beyond that, I think one of the greatest challenges we face is the attraction, the retention, and the development of skills. Because IT is changing at such a rapid pace, if you don't have the employees and the skill sets to move the organization forward, you're going to simply run in place. And so for us, not only trying to ensure that we're doing what we need to do on the security level, but how are we bringing in the right people to take the organization into the future? And so for us, that ability to bring in good people, to ensure that they're continually equipped with the right skill sets and to advance their careers is absolutely critical. And so, from my viewpoint, I think that those are two of the greatest challenges that we will have over the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you, John, for joining us today. For more information, please visit ComSpark.tech.